Hello, fellow gateballers. Today we'll be discussing a very important article number 15, which is labeled touch. Now, we've made a lot of references to when a successful touch is made and gaining the right to spark, as well as some priorities on sparking, which I've discussed and said that I will be in a future video. This is that video in relation to touching, in relation to when a successful touch is made and gaining the right to spark. Rightio, so we're going to jump into it without further ado. We would also like to momentarily thank Gateball Australia for their proud support of this channel, as well as the World Gateball Union for their use of their figures and illustrations from the Q&A book, as well as the official game rules book. Rightio, moving along, we're going to describe what a successful touch is. So, we won't be needing that just yet. We'll go on to reading dot point one, which says, a touch occurs when the stroker's ball is an in ball, is stroked and moves to touch another ball. Simple as that. So when an in ball, the stroker's ball, which is an in ball, moves to touch another in ball, and that is a successful touch. The moment they make contact, that is considered a successful touch. Dot point one under that says, if the stroker's ball is already in contact with another ball, a successful touch can be made just by stroking the stroker's ball. So that's this diagram here, which I accidentally jumped to a little bit early. So we can see stroker of ball X here. Ball X's ball has been called to stroke, and we can see that it is in contact with ball Z, which is another in ball. And no matter which way ball X is stroked, as long as the stick doesn't come into contact with ball Z itself, no matter which way ball X is stroked, it is considered a successful touch. That's all that means there. Dot point two says, if the stroker's ball touches another ball before successfully passing through the first gate, it is not regarded as a successful touch. That one's illustrated here, and now I've just got a little bit of a spiel here from the Q&A book, and we'll go through that slowly. But basically, the stroker of ball X, which is ball 5 here, strokes in the start stroke. So they're performing the start stroke, and they go through gate 1, and we can see that they successfully touch ball Z, and both balls are in balls. Now we're going to go on a slight bit of a tangent here, describing exactly what happens in this situation. And first of all, it says it is not a successful touch because, as we've just read, it says if the stroker's ball touches another ball before successfully passing through the first gate, it is not regarded as a successful touch. Well, you might say there, hold on a minute, Anthony. Ball X has successfully passed through the first gate, so therefore this has to count. Well, no, because in order for it to be a successful pass through the first gate, and for continuous play to occur, or the continuing stroke to be granted, ball X must stop as an in ball on the inner field. So that's why, although the gate is scored, in this situation, it does not count as a successful touch. It must come to a complete stop on the inner field as an in ball. Rightio, so it is not a successful touch. Number 2, it is a successful pass through the first gate, as we said, yes, and the movement of the stroker's ball and the other ball are valid. Very important to note there. So the movement of ball Z and ball X are both valid moves. And therefore they remain where they stopped in after moving. So that's incredibly important as well. So it's not an invalid move, so the balls stay as they are. Dot point 3 says, if it is a successful touch if, as a result of a continuous stroke, the stroker's ball hits the other ball. So you see ball X has struck ball Z. Now remember, that's not considered a successful touch. Even though they both finished as in balls, and even though ball X technically, and I hate the use of the word touch here because of the way that the rules are, but that's just how it's translated, because it's made contact with ball Z. It is, however, when I'm talking about it, I mean ball X is, however, permitted as a result of gaining continuous stroke from the gate, or from the passing of gate 1, is permitted to then attempt to touch ball Z. And it says, similarly, if during the start stroke, the stroker's ball hits another ball and that other ball enters the outer field, the movement of this ball is valid and it becomes an out ball. And that just goes back to the dot point 2 there, that they are all valid moves. So should ball X strike ball Z and ball Z becomes an out ball, ball Z is an out ball. It does not come back, it is just standard play. Similarly to that fact though, should ball X go pass through the first gate, strike ball Z and ball X becomes an out ball, ball X is an out ball, and that you do not get your continuous stroke for running gate 1. Yep, I think we've accurately described that little section there, so we'll be moving on to clause 2, which is gaining the right to spark. And dot point 1 says, the stroker gains the right to spark when a successful touch is made. You know what that means now. Both the striker's ball and the touch ball stop as in balls, and I referred to this in the past when I've been saying I'll refer to it in a future video, but basically both of the balls have stopped as in balls after the successful touch, and all the other balls on the inner field stop. Now, we discussed that in the last video in relation to stroking fouls, so you just need to make sure that once all the balls have stopped, and once they all stop as in balls and the successful touch has been made, they gain the right to spark. So that's the important definition we have been discussing in past videos. Moving on to clause number 3, which is priorities on sparking. If a stroker gains both the right for a continuous stroke and the right to spark, the stroker must spark first. Now, when would that happen? That one most commonly happens in relation to a pass touch or a touch pass. So pass touch being passing through a gate and touching another ball, or a touch pass, touching a ball and then passing through a gate. The next gate in order in both situations, of course. So when that happens, you must spark the touched ball first. You are not permitted to take your continuous stroke as a result of passing through the gate and then spark, which would be a huge advantage. You are not permitted to do that. You must spark first before you can take, in the case of the pass touch or the touch pass, you would spark first and then you would be permitted to take 2 continuous strokes. But you must spark first. And on to the last clause, which is clause number 4, touching the same ball twice. Now, this one's incredibly important as well, as there are lots of fouls and sparking fouls which relate to this one. And it says, it is a touching the same ball twice foul if, during his or her continuous stroke, the stroker makes a touch with a ball which he or she has already sparked. So once you've sparked a ball, you are not permitted to make any contact with your stroker's ball, important that the term there, stroker's ball, is used, on any ball that you've previously sparked. And it says, under dot point 2, touching the same ball twice shall result in the following. So this is the penalty for touching with your stroker's ball touching a ball that you've already sparked. That turn, very important, that turn. It says, a ball that is removed as a result of being touched a second time is returned to its position it was before it's moved. And step number 2 is, the stroker's ball becomes an out ball from the position it was when it was touched twice. So that one's incredibly simple. So that if we accidentally touch another ball which we have already sparked, our ball becomes an out ball from the place where the second touch occurred, and the other ball is returned to the position it was before the touch occurred. It's as simple as that. And that is the total, all of Article 15, which is labeled touch. It's a relatively short video today, guys, but it's incredibly important to know the priorities on sparking, as well as when a successful touch is made, and incredibly importantly, most important out of everything here really, is when the right to spark is gained. It's incredibly important for future rules, and especially important for Article 16, which will be our next video, which will be an incredibly long video, to be honest with you. I've got a lot of videos for that one in relation, and that one is called Spark, just Spark. We hope to see you on a court sometime soon, and we hope you enjoy the video so far, and let's play ball.